If you are interested in indie game, please check out my game dev of Animal Island, which is a farming game. Thank you so much. If you water 2 of them, it grows, right? Today I'm going to introduce how to create your first crop, and let's get started. So first we need to create a parent node called plant. Then I'm going to add sprite, animation player, and collision shape 2D. Those are default child node for this parent node, and I'm going to save it in a new folder called crops. Then I'm going to add a parent script. First, we need to add some variables. We need farm map, which is the map you are going to place your crop on, and some default node. pk equals to 1. This is just my naming. So this pk primary key, which means it stands for the type of the crop. So for example, 1 means potato in my game here. Export string. That's the object name or crop name. So here default should be empty because we are not sure what type of child node we are going to use. So I leave it empty. Next one is current phase. Default 0 means is the seed phase. Export. Next one is day of current phase. Start from 0 to export. Crop age. Start from 0. That is the variable we are using to track our life length of this crop. Next one is a building value called dat. Default is false for sure because it is alive, but I put this variable here because for most cases crops should have a season that it can grow in. For example, potato can grow in, for example, spring. It cannot grow in summer. So in summer, this variable will be true, and this whole crops will be dead, and play the dead animation. Then we need some pre-setup initialize. Then I will ask it to return data variable because we're going to call this parent initialize in new inherited things. And then let me save it. We'll ask animation player. Oh, I forgot to make it shorter. Player to play anim name that we get from current phase. Now we have all the scripts for this parent node. Now we need to create our first crop. So new inherited things from this one. Then as you can see, names is plant, but we need to change it to potato because I have potato sprite ready. And we need to put the asset I put here. So this asset is the one I'm using in my commercial game. Even though I'm going to put all those code and sprite to GitHub to share, but please do not use this for any commercial use. You can use it for tutorials to try to test, but don't do this for any commercial use. Thank you. And then let me do some animation. As you can see, we have 5 stages. The last one is the fruit. I call it fruit stage. You don't have to use it for this tutorial. So we just use it 6, right? And okay, cool. Next thing is a little bit tricky. So because we instance crops based on this center node, center position. So usually I'm going to drag this to here. which should be 0. In this way, this base always 16 by 16 should be this. And let me animate that. First animation is state is 0, is current phase name, right? You don't have to worry about this. You can call it anything you want. You can put any time you want. And then sprite, we need to put texture here. We need V frame 1. And we don't need to worry about position because all crops will share the same position. You don't have to worry about that. Now it's set 0, right? Second one, we duplicate. Then we get another one. We duplicate again. Okay, so now we have all 5 stages here. Let me save this as potato. And then we also need to put collision shape. So make it smaller, not that big actually. 8. Okay, 8. So it will cover the base of the whole crop. You can see here. Then we need to eliminate this script because we don't use parent script directly. We use a child script. So we add a new one. We should ask it to extend plant.gd, which is the parent one, right? Potato here. Next, we need to put our child script for this. The first one is now shared variables, export array visit days. So we start from default, which is empty, and here we have a very temporary testing use. You won't use this in production environment because it costs too many time. You have to use some JSON automatically loading systems, which I'm going to teach you guys in next few tutorials. But for current testing, I'm going to have our crop data ready to use here. I'll put details later. And the function ready. So when this crop ready, we need to check dirt status, check plant status. In this way, we have all right status for the crop. And also you need to put phases days here. Next one, you need a child initialize function, which will use crop data. And use this to call parent function first. And then we get phase days from the data it returned. Now actually you don't have to do this because this crop data is already a dictionary. Yeah, I did that because in my real world commercial game, it has more complex structure. That's why I have to have a return value. But right now you don't have to do that. You have to just put crop data. Get phase days. Then you need to ask animation player to play string current phase. So it will make sure we start from the correct status. Next one, I'm going to put a function that will be used later called on new day start. In this function, it will trigger all those checks to make sure that we can grow or stay there, which I'll explain later. But for crop data, we should have pk is 1 because it's potato. You can name it whatever you want. Object name potato. Let me make it beautiful. Phase days is array. So for example, first phase is seed, right? It stay there for one day. Stay to second as 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. The last phase is mature phase because we have 5 stages, right? The last stage is when it is ready to pick up to harvest, but you cannot put a specific number here. You can put infinite here because Godot supports this infinite integer value here. But because we have the dead variable, so we are able to prevent from growing these crops forever, or leave it there forever. So you don't have to worry about that. Anything else we need to put? Let me see. Okay, day of current phase, crop age. They're all default. So you may think I waste some variable time here, but this will make you have more controls to your node. So for example, maybe some crops start from phase 1, it won't start from 0, right? So you have this, it will save more time in long run. Date current phase 0. Crop age start from 0. Next, let me check. Okay, now we are able to double check this animation. Okay, make sure it starts from 0, but you don't have to do this actually. I just make it perfect. Next, we are able to use time system to control our node. Okay, let me go to find time system. So as you can see, it's very fast right now. I don't want that fast. I want maybe 10,000. So here we need a signal. First signal is called new day start. When we call this function, I'm going to emit this. Oh, sorry. When the new day coming, emit signal, new day start. Okay, then let us go back to potato or plant. Actually, we go to plant because we have our or potato, whatever. Yeah, we have this here. Actually, you can copy this back to plant and copy this. Oh, sorry, we cannot do this. Okay, go back here. Whenever this is ready, we want to connect. Oh, we kind of want to connect time, right? Time system. Connect new day start signal to self to this function. In this way, which means when new day start, it will emit a signal to the crop node to make sure it can check this based on the tile map the map had right now. But we also need one more function and signal to make sure the tiles will be refreshed back to scratch dirt, right? We don't want to stay, wet dirt forever. So for that one, we need another thing. It's called here. We need to add another function called refresh tiles. In this tile, we want to get first wet dirt. This is a function here. We can get used cells. By ID. The ID will be constants.wet dirt ID, right? Then we have all the dirts, all the wet dirts we are using right now. Then we need to for loop tile position in wet dirts. So each child in this variable will be a tile position. Looks like a 0, 0, 1, 0, something like that. Then you can call set cell v. We can set this tile position back to get tile set, find tile by name. By what name? By constants dot scratch dirt name, which means for all wet dirt, we refresh them back to scratch dirt. Okay, when do we call this? So here's a little bit tricky part, because in different games we have different mechanics, right? But in this tutorial, I'm going to show you the simple one. So on each hour equals to 0 means each new day start, we start a new day, and all crops will calculate their status and grow correspondingly. You will see the animation later. Then after that, we want to see if hour equals to, for example, 2, which means 2 a.m. and the day. No, we don't have the day. If hour equals to this, we want to call or emit signal to ask tilemap to refresh the tiles, right? So we can have a emit signal. I didn't put the signal name here, but we can call refresh tiles. Then we can create a signal here. Actually, there's no guaranteed solutions for all games, right? But this is just an idea. You can customize it, you can use it, and based on your structure of game. Tiles, we emit this, so we want our tile map to connect this. Time connect refresh tiles self. We can just call it directly, right? Refresh tiles. Yep. So in this way, when after crops calculated the status, it grows to the correct stage, and then at 2 a.m. farm map will refresh tiles. Now we are ready to test it, but we need some input to make sure that we can plant our crop to the corresponding corresponding tile, right? We are going to put some input functions to instance our crops to correct position. So let me add our. We can use anything. Let me use input map. Add a new one. Then we can name it as space. Just you can name whatever you want. And so we put one more here. If event is action price plant, then we are going to put our crop to the tile position in front of player, right? Like I introduced in my first tutorial. So first we need to get our node path. So we want to get node crop path, which is here. You can this is very convenient. You can copy path here. Then we want to load it and instance it, right? Crop equals to crop path. We need to load it first, then instance it. So for now, our crop didn't show up. Won't show up in the map yet because we didn't add that to the tree. So next, before we add to the tree, we want to initialize it. Initialize. Then next step is add to the tree, but we also want to make sure the crop's global position is correct, right? So we want to global position equals to here, tile position multiplied by 16. So this is for keyboard based. If you can have mouse control based to find, get global mouse position and then convert to the tile based position, and then we can add child because we're already in farm, right? We add child to add crop to that child. Before that, one more thing is we want to make sure that this crop, where's the crop here? So do you remember we have this farm map here? When you initialize that, we want to make sure that farm map equals to the parent node of this crop, which means the farm tile map, right? So okay, good. I think we are good to try, and we can. Okay, I think we are good. One more thing to do is I want to put the time here. Do you remember we have this testing? So we can instance testing. This is a control node. Okay, we can put it here. So you will see all the stuff here. Okay, let me start it. Oh, where's that? We need to change the time speed a little bit slower because if it is too fast, we won't see, growing that comfortable. And we also want to move all this temp test stuff to farm here because we are just temporary testing it, right? So we want to put this crop data in initialize. We have to make sure when it is ready in the tree, get the tilemap node to this farm map. So we shouldn't put it in initialize. Sorry about that. And then we are ready to. Here's testing screen. We can hold it. We can put our seed. So let us see. It didn't grow if you don't water it, right? If you water 2 of them, it grows, right? Water 2 of them again. It will refresh tiles, but it didn't grow because it didn't get the required days yet. We water it again, it grows and refresh tiles. Grow, refresh. Then we water it. It grows again. Then it should be able to grow to the final stage. Yes, we make it. Thank you so much. Thanks for your watching, and if you like my tutorial series, please subscribe and share it to your friends. And also you can follow on my Twitter and also join my Discord. And if you are interested in indie games, you can check my game devlog. Currently, I'm working on a commercial game called Animal Island, which is 2D pixel RPG. You can call it more like a mix of farming and monster hunting. Okay, thank you so much for today's watching. Have a nice day.